In the frozen battlefields of Eastern Europe, a dramatic shift is unfolding, one that could determine the course of the entire war. Russia's new military strategy against Ukraine has been the subject of global debate, raising questions about its effectiveness, its hidden weaknesses, and its long-term impact. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the World Conflict Monitor channel, and please don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth breakdowns of global conflicts and military developments. Before we dive deep, let's first summarize the story. Since February 2022, Russia has pursued several phases of strategy, from blitzkrieg-style assaults aimed at capturing Kyiv quickly, to grinding attrition warfare in Donbass, and now we are witnessing a recalibrated approach that blends defensive consolidation, long-range strikes, and gradual pressure on Ukraine's logistics. This shift is what many analysts describe as Russia's new playbook for sustaining the war. Looking at the exterior of this strategy, we can see its visible features in the open battlefield. Russia has fortified defensive lines stretching across hundreds of kilometers, particularly in the south and east of Ukraine. Trenches, minefields, dragon's teeth barriers, and layered artillery positions create what looks like a fortress wall against Ukrainian advances. At the same time, Russia is using the exterior face of its air force and missile arsenal to strike deep into Ukrainian territory, targeting energy infrastructure, supply depots, and command centers. This exterior design makes the strategy look both intimidating and durable, projecting an image of strength even if the reality inside is more complex. It gives Moscow the ability to control the pace of the conflict and project endurance to both domestic and international audiences. The interior, however, tells a different story and should be kept short. Inside this strategy lies a system heavily dependent on manpower drawn from conscripts, private contractors, and mobilized reservists. Internally, Russia relies on a centralized command structure with political influence playing a major role. While the exterior may look organized, the interior is often plagued by bureaucratic delays, logistical inefficiencies, and conflicting interests between regular forces and private military groups. This short look inside shows that beneath the armor, the system still has cracks. When it comes to performance, Russia's new strategy is designed to avoid the mistakes of its earlier attempts. The rapid assault on Kyiv failed, the offensive in Donbass cost enormous casualties, and the Ukrainian counteroffensive of 2023 showed that Russia's earlier defensive positions could be breached. The updated approach is slower but more methodical. It emphasizes wearing down Ukrainian forces with artillery duels, drone swarms, electronic warfare, and constant pressure on supply chains. Performance-wise, this strategy does not deliver quick victories, but it excels in grinding down the opponent over time. It plays to Russia's comparative advantages: a larger population for mobilization, greater industrial capacity for producing ammunition, and the ability to endure sanctions by redirecting trade to partners like China, Iran, and North Korea. In terms of safety features, this strategy seeks to minimize catastrophic losses for Russia's own forces by relying less on high-risk offensive maneuvers. The fortified defensive belts act as safety shields, reducing the chances of Ukrainian breakthroughs. Long-range missile and drone attacks serve as a substitute for direct frontline risks, allowing Russia to inflict damage without exposing soldiers to immediate counterattacks. Another safety feature is the use of layered command centers, with redundancies built in, so that even if one node is destroyed, the system can continue operating. These features make the strategy more sustainable in the long term compared to the reckless offensives of 2022. However, they also highlight Russia's cautiousness, showing a preference for survival rather than boldness. The unique selling points of this strategy lie in its adaptability and psychological impact. Unlike earlier plans that relied on a single dramatic move, this new approach offers flexibility. Russia can shift resources between fronts, escalate missile strikes when needed, and maintain pressure at a tempo that suits its own timeline. Another unique point is its focus on psychological warfare. By constantly targeting Ukraine's energy grid, striking cities far from the front, and projecting the image of an unbreakable defense, Russia aims to weaken not just Ukrainian morale but also Western unity. The message is clear: Moscow is ready for a long war, and it believes time is on its side. This narrative forces Ukraine and its allies into a difficult calculation: whether to sustain support indefinitely or push for negotiations. Now, if we think of price, not in financial terms but in the real cost of this strategy, it is staggering. Russia has invested billions of dollars into building fortifications, producing missiles, and sustaining its war economy under sanctions. The human price is even higher, with tens of thousands of casualties among Russian troops. Yet from Moscow's perspective, this cost is justified if it preserves its hold on occupied territories and prevents Ukraine from achieving decisive victories. The price for Ukraine, on the other hand, is immense. Constant missile strikes devastate infrastructure, displace civilians, and strain the economy. Meanwhile, the West bears the price of continued military aid, political debates, and energy disruptions. In this sense, the strategy functions like a financial endurance test, betting that Russia can outlast its adversaries in terms of both resources and political will. In conclusion, Russia's new military strategy against Ukraine is less about flashy victories and more about patient endurance. On the outside, it appears formidable, with fortified lines and constant long-range strikes. On the inside, it still struggles with inefficiency and dependence on mobilization. Its performance relies on attrition, safety comes from defensive belts and remote attacks, its unique selling point is adaptability and psychological pressure, and the price is heavy but one that Moscow seems prepared to pay. Whether this strategy ultimately succeeds depends not just on Russia's strength but also on Ukraine's resilience and Western resolve. For now, it represents a calculated shift, a move from quick conquest to long war. This war has entered a phase where strategies matter as much as weapons, and Russia's recalibration is shaping the battlefield in new ways. As we continue to watch these developments, one thing is certain: the outcome will not only decide the future of Ukraine but also redefine global security for years to come. And that brings us to the end of this explanation of Russia's new strategy. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the World Conflict Monitor channel, where we break down the world's most pressing conflicts in detail. Stay tuned for more updates on this evolving story.